What's up, everyone? It's your boys, Jimmy and Megadeth. All right, mate?
Hey!
Megadeth. I've been waiting to say that all day, man.
Yes, mate.
So, in today's episode of Top Tracks, we are going to visit the discography of a band near and dear to our hearts, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a special band for me and you.
Yeah, the mighty Megadeth. Bit of a roller coaster ride, this one.
I mean, we was just speaking off camera.
Oh,
God blimey. It's gonna get interesting. Let me tell you, the
yeah,
first
yeah,
half of this is very easy. There's a lot of top tracks to pick from, but
yeah.
then from certain album onwards, it gets very difficult, and it really tested me and Jim's loyalty
Oh
to
God,
Megadeth.
mate. Yeah,
Oh
it did.
God.
Mate, there's some stunning highs and some
Oh
terrifying lows.
God. And when you sort of think that you've heard all the route, you think, well, I haven't heard a lot of these albums before, like these other albums. And I think, it can't be as bad as people make out. And it's
it,
like,
it can,
yeah, it
which
is.
we'll get onto.
Yeah.
Mate, we said this before, didn't we? Like, they're one of our favorite bands, but I really only reach for four, five, maybe five Megadeth. If I'm in the mood for some Megadeth, it's gonna be the classics. Unfortunately, there's not often I'll think, oh, I really want to listen to that album from 2006. Do you know what I mean? Like
It's not as
but
standout in like we said off camera, like the Metallica discography,
yeah,
Maiden's discography, where you could easily listen to the whole lot.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
a bit more, yeah,
Pick,
testing.
yeah.
You've got you got to be picky, but there
It
are,
is.
like you said, 4, 5 that are easy pickings,
That
mate.
just
We'd
shows
always go
how
back
good
to.
those four or five are, doesn't it?
Oh God,
That's the
mate.
thing. So, right then, let's boot this off then, mate, with their debut album, 1985. Killing is my business, and business is good. Before we get into the picking the tracks, then, where would you rank this in the big four debut albums? So, Kill 'Em All, Show No Mercy, Fistful of Metal, Killing is my business. Where would you rank this amongst those four?
I would probably have it third. I'd say
Yeah, same.
same. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'd have this just below Show No Mercy and Kill 'Em All,
same order.
above Fistful of Metal.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny enough, mate. This isn't an album I revisit all that regularly, but doing this, I've listened to it a few times. It's fucking wicked, this record,
It's
isn't it?
fucking brilliant, mate. It's got that classic thrash goodness and a sound that carries on for especially the next couple of albums after this
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this sort of heavy metal thrashy 80s
It's got
style.
some just like aggressive punk feel to it as well, and it
Yeah,
because Dave was obviously on a bit of a tear and bit
bit
wound up
pissed
at this
off.
point, wasn't he?
Yes,
So
yeah, and it shows, mate, on this.
yeah, yeah. Right then. So my pick, my favorite track off here, I've gone with Skull Beneath the Skin.
Oh,
It's kind of like it's like a prototype Megadeth track. This mate, it's got angular riffs and licks, tons of tempo shifts, a real like catchy chorus as well to it.
yes,
I know Dave Mustaine's voice is a bit of an off-putter for a lot of for people. I've seen that quite a lot, but he sounds fucking great on this
he
record.
does sound
He's
really good
so
on this.
like,
Those early albums, mate, he
yeah,
was he
yeah.
was good,
He's
mate.
got that snarl to his voice, isn't he? But
Yeah, man.
Skull Beneath the Skin, man, it's a wicked, wicked track. Like I listened to through this album a couple of times, and that was the one that kept. I could hear it. Do you know what I mean? Skull
Yeah,
Beneath, like it was just there, and I was like, well, it has to be that one, man. That's the one that's sticking with me. So yeah, I've gone with that, man.
great pick.
What you got?
I've got the track after Rattlehead.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah,
Rattlehead's
yeah,
one of the fastest fucking thrash tracks ever,
yeah.
mate.
It is.
It is fucking insane. Kicks off with that classic guitar tone that it's like that. It's just like the fastest fucking hands, mate. It's
Yeah, yeah.
such a good fucking track, man. I really like Last Rites, Love to Death, and I honestly thought it was going to be that track. So I think for an opening track, that is a fucking worldie.
It is a great track, mate.
But like you said, coming back to it, Rattlehead was the one that kept sticking to. You know, Skull Beneath My Skin is great. Mechanics, obviously, we know the backstory with that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a fucking great track. Looking Down the Cross is another great track as well. But yeah, Rattlehead for me, mate. That is just pure pace, pure Megadeth, mate. To sort of have that in an opening album like this, mate. It's a great album. I really fucking dig this album,
It
mate.
is. It really is. It's better than I remember it being when I listened
Yes.
to it years ago. So
Yes.
revisiting it now, I'm going to be revisiting this a lot more
Oh, yeah,
than I
100%,
would.
mate.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, yeah. Couple of good picks there, Dev. We've both gone for like tracks that will kind of where they went in the future. So
Yes.
that's
Yes.
interesting, man. So next album then, 1986. They're the first rubber stamped
Yeah.
thrash classic. Peace
Yeah.
sells, but who's buying? There was only one pick on here for me, Def. It's the title track. Peace sells. This is a desert island metal song for me. Like,
I knew that would be your pick.
yeah, if I was putting together my favorite playlist, my favorite ever metal songs, man, Peace Sells is in there. I first heard this, Dev, on. Did you have the Rusted Pieces VHS? It was. It's got the Vic Rattlehead holding the big.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if I didn't have it. I have seen it though.
yeah. So it had like it just had their early videos on there, and then it had like the band between each song just talking about the making of the video and stuff like that. It was really I rinsed the life out of it, mate, when I was like 10 or 11. But yeah, just this is one of the best metal songs ever recorded,
It's
in
a
my
great.
opinion.
It's an anthem. It's the first sort of thrashy anthem when it
Yeah,
that
man. Like
Megadeth sort of had.
it's got there's that section like if there's a new way, I'll be the first in line. That is gets me every time. And do you know what's mental about this song? It's 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
This song does so much in 4 minutes. It feels like it should be a 6 minute track. Do you know what I mean?
I thought it was a longer track. It's only when I saw 4 minutes 3 seconds. It was like, what? How can it
How,
be that? They cut
yeah,
it.
how have they? It's just a perfect song structure. The way it
Yeah.
builds into that big crescendo at the end, fucking perfect. Not 1 second of this track I would change anyway, man. Peace Sells, yeah, is my pick.
But who's buying? Ooh. My track. Oh god, this was one of those albums that it was tough, mate. It was out of 2 or 3. Peace
Yeah,
Cells was
yeah.
up there. You know, Conjuring was up there. Good Morning Black Friday, such a tune.
Great tune.
I've gone with the closer. My Last Words.
Oh, what?
That is
Oh, that's left field, man.
that is left field, mate. Listening to the album again and just thinking, what a track to end this album on. It's got
Yeah,
everything you want. You know, those nice little tempo changes. Dave sounds fantastic on it. It's just a wonderful Megadeth track. And it could have easily, it should have been Peace Cells probably because that's the track. You know,
yeah.
it's fucking almightily massive. But yeah, My Last Words, man, for me is just a quality end track and again, listening to it again, it was like, yeah, I've made the right pick here. But it was difficult because there was about 3 or 4 in here that it could have easily have been. That's how good it is.
Oh, I've revisited most of these albums since we decided to do this a couple of months ago. But Peace, what a record this is, man! Like so good. So album number 3, then I think this is underrated. This
Yes.
album because I think it's sandwiched between two worldies. So
Yes.
1988, so far so good. So what? Could have done without the Sex Pistols cover. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, bin that off, put another original track on there, and I think this album gets held in higher regard.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, this was I already knew my pick for this before we even did it. In My Darkest Hour is the tune. One of their finest songs, full stop, mate. This an absolute fucking masterclass in crafting a song. Like the way this builds is just unbelievable.
Megadeth done that in the early days of building a track, starting from nothing, and just gradually the tempo and gets into certain sections, the rhythm kicks in, you get into that groove. Only Megadeth can do that, man.
Yeah. And there's always bits, mate, that you don't see coming as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that that attack that Megadeth have from all angles. The bit in here, man, where it's like, please God, send me on my way. Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking hell, goosebumps, man. Every time I hear that. What a tune, man. What a tune. I think it's an underrated song as well, because I think it's on an underrated album.
Yes,
But
it stands out.
Fuck
Yeah,
me, In My Darkest Hour is unbelievable.
that was the biggie on here, wasn't it? That was the
Yeah.
big single, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a different pick. I have gone
Ooh.
with Set the World Afire.
Oh, nice, mate.
Set the World
Yeah,
Afire
yeah.
is a fucking tune, because that is sort of hinting as where they go next for at least the next couple of albums. That
Yeah.
tone, that classic Megadeth gallop. Dave sounds, his vocals on that track are fucking great, man. He sounds wicked on that.
Mate, he sounds wicked on this album. Like these, like we said, these first albums, his vocals are,
He's untouchable, man.
because he's different, mate. Like there's nobody sounds like him. It's just, and that's what sets them apart, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just nobody sounds like him.
He hasn't got that. So he's got a growl, but he doesn't sing with a growl. He's got that. He's got a unique tone that only he's got.
Just one of the most unique vocalists.
And he turns
ever,
into this chameleon, isn't it? He sort of has his talking sections.
Yeah.
He's got his weird goblin-y. It's just, that's Dave, isn't it?
Yeah.
So set the world afire, man. It's my track. When that starts kicking in, mate, it's mate. Fucking hell, mate. The tone, the guitar tone on that, mate, sounds fucking incredible. It was out of that or In My Darkest Hour. I thought it was going to be In My Darkest Hour. But Set the World Afire is just, yes, mate. This is what's coming, man.
What I wouldn't give Death, like Opeth are doing that like fan chosen set list of Bloodstock. What I wouldn't give for Megadeth to be like, pick a set list for us. Oh, fucking hell. I'd have all of these like
all these ones.
That they just don't play live. But yeah, so far so good. So what? I think if you like not listened to this recently, revisit it, because I think it is a lot better than it's given credit for, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, right then, 1990 Death, an album that me and you have spoken about 40 zillion billion times in our life.
Wow.
Top 20 all-timer for me and you. Rust in peace. This was harder than picking names for my children. Picking my favorite song up here. Like I had one obvious. There was one, and I was like, well, it's obviously that one. But then I've any excuse to revisit this album. Do you know what I mean?
Of course it is, mate. Yeah.
Almost went with Tornado of Souls. Almost went with Take No
I know. Oh, I know. Yeah, I think I know what you're going to go with.
It's Holy Wars, the punishment due, isn't it?
Mate, I'm sorry. It's got to be.
It has to be, Def. I was thinking, right, will it be Take No Prisoners? Listen to that. Yeah, sick. Oh, Tornado of Souls, that solo. Woo, woo, yeah, sick. Yeah. But then you listen to this again and you're like, oh, well, it's just one of the best songs ever written. So
it is.
Is it your pick as well?
It's my pick, mate. And it was, as soon as we've done the list, I was writing down Holy Wars straight away next to Rust in Peace. Even, it's to kick off an album with that track, sets the bar fucking straight away, mate. The way the tempo changes in that track, the solo in it, it's the guitar is just getting screechier and screechier. It's one of the catchiest thrash songs ever, mate.
It doesn't get much better than this, man.
It's untouchable, mate. But then, if you said to me, Def, you can't pick Holy Wars for the Rust in Peace track, I probably would have picked Five Magics.
Oh,
would have been my next pick. I do like that.
Give me
Five Magics. Yeah.
That is a tune as well, man.
It's a fucking bad. That ending on that.
And
then the solos, it's about 5 different parts. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. And that's what Megadeth used to do, ending the tracks with solos.
Yeah.
You do that, that's it, mate.
Forget it. I mean, the Holy Wars has got it's like a song's going through 3 different acts, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like 3 different tunes bolted onto one, but they just perfectly seamlessly blend.
It's so clever. The song,
Yeah, it is.
how it's
It
structured,
is.
is so clever. It's perfect. Perfect analogy. What you've said.
Yeah, it's like an act. It's like a play, isn't it, with three different
Yeah.
acts. But yeah, I almost went with Take No Prisoners.
Take no prisoners.
Take
Oh,
no.
shit. Yeah, God, what an ending,
It's
isn't it?
so good. And also, mate, recently the title track has just been in my head all the time. That
Yes.
closing track is
Yes.
fucking brilliant, mate.
It is. It does it. I mean, I saw it get spoken. I saw it get spoken about on Twitter, and someone was mentioning about it, and it was like it's just no one really talks about it. It's only the all the Holy Wars Hangar 18, something like that. But I mean, Polaris is a fucking tune, mate. There's sections in that. Yeah.
That's so good. Oh, any excuse to listen to this album again.
Oh,
Got it over
God,
there.
mate. Yeah, yes. Oh, mate, it's worldy, mate.
Just one of the best ever, isn't it?
Yes.
It's literally one of the best ever. But yeah, Holy War's the punishment due. It had to be. Right then, 1992, Countdown to Extinction. So obviously, Rust in Peace is one of our favorite albums, Steph, right? But I think these next two are the ones that are like near and dear to us, because Rust in Peace had already come out by the time we started school.
Yes.
These were the ones that dropped
when we were in school.
So we were like, oh, there's a new Megadeth film coming out. Oh, can't wait to go to our price and get it on CD.
Yeah.
So these were like peak school day albums, weren't they? These next two.
Yeah.
This one, I think I've gone with a little bit of a left field pick here, Def.
Oh, this was the hardest one for me to pick
was
a track.
it?
Out of all the albums, this was the toughest because fuck me, mate. I was sweating. That's not a giveaway. That's not a giveaway. I was sweating, mate. It was fucking mate. Yeah, it was horrible to pick a favorite. But yeah, I'm interested to see what you've gone for, man.
I had that conundrum with the next one, but I've gone with Foreclosure of a Dream.
That was one of my shortlist.
It's kind of a simple tune, isn't it? But it's super fucking catchy.
The chorus, mate. The chorus in that.
That riff.
Foreclosure of a Dream. Yeah, it's just
that riff.
Yeah, it's too good, mate.
It's so infectious, isn't it? And it's got like that laid back, clean verse, hasn't it? With like almost the clean guitars. The chorus is so simple, but because it's got like that laid back verse, it hits harder when it comes
when
in.
It kicks in. Yeah.
I really like that little din 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 din.
Yeah, it just sounds
because you don't see it coming. That's the thing with Megadeth. They chuck stuff in, you don't see these little bits coming. Like that bit sounds like it shouldn't fit.
Yeah.
But it does.
Yeah.
I hear you, man.
It is a tune. Yeah, it's fucking sick. That was one that I had. The other one I had was Architecture of Aggression, because
that is a great
fucking tune. And I did have that as the pick. But then
fuck, I should have gone with that one.
Oh yeah. But then finally I came to a decision. Symphony of Destruction.
Yeah.
It's the world. I know it's probably obvious. I know. But that Symphony, Architecture, Foreclosure, those three tracks is just it's fucking insane. For me, they're on the same level, those three tracks. So I think any one of them three is the right. High Speed Dirt is an underrated track.
Skin of My Teeth has got a great
Skin of My Teeth's a great
chorus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clinging onto life by
the skin of my teeth.
God, it's so good, man.
And the ending. Oh, mate, get out there. Yeah,
I love this record.
I fucking love this record, mate. It's so good, man. And like you said, it's different from Rust in Peace. You know what I mean? Rust in Peace, they sort of done it. That's it. We don't need to do this. So this was a bit more mid-tempo-y, slightly experimental, but
if you remember what happened the year before this album came out, the fucking Black Album came out, didn't it? So they changed the face of thrash and everything forever.
They slowed down. They still retained that heaviness, bit more mid-tempo, slower tempo, but still kept that groove of what they've had on previous albums.
fuck. Now you've mentioned Architecture of Aggression, mate.
Mate,
Down in the
that's what I'm
dark.
saying, mate. It was them 3 tracks, and I
Yeah.
just didn't know what to do. The amount of fucking times I kept writing it down, but I went with Symphony, but it could have been any of those ones we've mentioned, mate. It's fucking worldy, mate.
It's a great record, isn't it?
It is, mate.
Oh, I'm gonna have to listen to this again this week.
I'm gonna listen to it after this.
I'm
I'm
gonna have to
gonna
listen
do
to
it.
again. Uh, um, so look at so this in this day and age. Do you remember it was like an album every 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what we've got again here because 1994, Euthanasia, a really fucking special record. I think to me this one. Would you Def this or Countdown? You're only allowed to choose one.
I would
Listen to
probably.
forever.
Oh God, I would probably, just because I've probably listened to it more. Countdown. The only reason.
Yeah.
The only reason.
Ooh.
But my.
Yeah, I think I'd probably choose this because I think I adore this record, mate, and I think it's because I saw them live for the first time on this album.
Special, mate.
Yeah, that's why I think I would probably go with it. Yeah, I saw them in Plymouth on this, mate.
I remember when you went.
Yeah,
I remember you went.
I think I asked you to come, didn't I?
Yeah, and I couldn't go, and I was like, Plymouth. Why the fuck are you going to Plymouth?
It's because back in them days, mate, like Brixton had that awful reputation, didn't it?
That's it.
And me and my dad were like, "Oh, I'm not going to Brixton. No way am I going to Brixton." So
and you went to Plymouth.
Me and my dad.
I remember.
Me and my dad, Steve Dyer got in the car.
That's it. I remember, mate. Yeah, Plymouth.
Promotion of Conformity supported, mate, on Deliverance as well.
Oh Woo. God.
So this was the hardest one for me picking a track. This was almost impossible, man. I almost gave up on this one, but I've gone with Elysian Fields as my track.
Oh wow.
It's so fucking catchy, mate. So like ridiculously catchy. If you have a listen to this song and just listen to the riffs in the verse, they are so good. Like, and that pre-chorus, you know, that Pontius Pilate to Washington. Oh, yeah. I love that bit, man. It just gets stuck in my head all the time. It's nothing flash, this song. It's just a really great song. And the chorus is an earworm. Elysian field, where you send to our destiny.
Oh, it's a tune.
Yeah,
man.
it's such a great song. It was between this and Blood of Heroes were my two. Yeah. Blood of Heroes is a great track. But I just couldn't get this one out of my head. So
yeah, I hear you, man.
You got to go over. Yeah, Elysian Fields, man. My pick on this one.
I went, funny enough, the track after, The Killing Road.
Oh, it's a great
The Killing Road, yeah. Just everything about it. Like you said, with Elysian, it's a simple track.
Yeah.
But it just has a catchy riff, catchy chorus.
Great
Dave
song.
sounds fucking great on it. The way the vocal structure is.
Yeah.
It's just a track that every time I go to this album, I sort of think, oh yeah, I'm going to play Killing Road. Killing Road is just so catchy for me. It's fucking incredible track.
Yeah, it's a great song.
First opening two track, Reckoning Day and Train of Consequences were really good.
Reckoning Day is brilliant. Don't want no revenge. Don't want no. It's
I thought that might have been your pick. I thought that would have been your pick.
Yeah, it was in the running, mate, but I don't know why Elysian Fields. I just couldn't get it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same with Killing Road. Ever since when I first heard Killing Road, it's been that track that I associate Euthanasia with. How can you go against it? You can't go against it.
No, that's a good way of thinking about it, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I adore this record, mate. Honestly, I love this record more than anything. That's going to get listened to again this week, probably. Right, next one then. We're chucking in a compilation here. So, Hidden Treasures came out in 1995. It's obviously not a studio album, but we had to stick in here because I think this was another school day special, wasn't it? We listened to this a lot in school. This. Yeah. And there is some brilliant songs on here, man. 99 Ways to Die was almost my pick. You know what my pick is, Dev. It's Go to Hell.
I knew it was Go to Hell. From
the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey soundtrack. Imagine writing a song this fucking good and it not being on an album. I mean,
you've always said that, and I'll tell you what, it's a great fucking point,
dude. It's just a great song, mate. Like, Megadeth were just smashing out brilliant songs all over the place at this point. And this one, it's really fucking heavy, this song, isn't it?
It is.
It's like almost a throwback to the earlier albums.
Yeah. And I think that's why it stands out. I mean, we saw them play it when we were at Budstock, didn't we? They played it, didn't it?
My God,
you lost your shit.
Yeah, I nuts.
You nearly done a whirlwind, mate, and fucking went to the front.
Yeah. This is a song so good. I think this was Trevor Stannard's, like Megadeth were his favorite band.
Yes. And,
This was his favorite song.
They
covered it on Verminous, didn't they?
Yes.
It sounds wicked.
That version's fucking sick.
Yeah, so good. But yeah, Go to Hell, man. One of my absolute favorite Megadeth tracks.
Yeah, it's my pick as well, mate.
Oh, wicked.
99 Ways to Die was second choice. That is a fucking tune, man.
99 Ways.
Go to Hell. It's just got, you know, that Bill and Ted factor. We came that in school. Go to Hell was just, it's like you said, it's like a track that's on an album.
It's a brilliant song.
But no, it's a fucking great song. Yeah.
And also, Def, I want to shout, I love their cover of No More Mr. Nice Guy.
I think it's good. I do.
It's so fucking fun and catchy, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it.
So good. Right then, Def. I feel like someone's, you know, like you've got on a lilo in the swimming pool and someone's unplugged and like pulled their little thing out and it started to deflate. Because we got 1997, Cryptic Writings. It's an okay album.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. It's
mate,
well away from I know, I understand that, you know, you don't want to keep writing the same albums all the time. You need to try new things, you know, sound a bit different. But yeah,
it is such a step down from Euthanasia. It just feels a bit like a B-Tech version of Countdown and Euthanasia. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, you know, like the latter 90s were a weird period for these bigger metal bands, wasn't it? Like,
I mean, this
time and
this was what, around the same time as what Reload.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I'm going to say it now. Reload absolutely smashes this out. Like, not even close.
No,
this is like fucking. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Megadeth suffered badly, didn't they? In this era.
This era, they suffered big time, mate.
Yeah. The track I've gone with for this is FFF.
Oh, the last track.
Because it's kind of a throwback. It kind of sounds like Motor Breath. Yes. It's really like punky. I think it's 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's 2:47.
Yeah, but it's a real like fucking throwback to like early Megadeth.
But it's a shame you've got to wait till the end of the album.
Yeah, I know.
To hear the throwback. Yeah. You know, to hear the guitars actually come alive a bit.
Yeah. It's got really good chorus as well.
Yeah,
really catchy chorus. But yeah, it was slim pickings on here, man, for me.
Yeah, it was.
But FFF is the track.
My track is the Disintegrators. Similar to FFF, a bit more about it, a bit more riffier, a bit more quicker. From an album that didn't have a lot. I mean, you know, She-Wolf was a massive track on here.
Yeah, She-Wolf.
And I remember listening to that, like, again, when we were doing this, and it was like, I don't remember it being that. It's not. I thought it was better. I thought it was a better track. I thought that was going to be the standout track. Because
I thought that was.
It's the track I know. But when listening to it a few times, it was like, I don't know. I'm not really vibing this. Yeah. But Disintegrators, FFF, Mastermind isn't too bad. That sort of pick the opening 3 tracks on here are so weird. Trust was a massive single.
Trust was the one I nearly went with because I knew it really well.
It's a weird opener though. It's a weird for an opening track. It's kind of
slow and
very slow. It picks up near the end. I mean, I know it's about 5-minute track, but I just think it's very almost honest. I don't even remember that track. Use the Man. It's Mastermind. It starts to a little bit pick up Disintegrators, and then it sort of goes in a cocoon again until later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, an odd album, man. Very odd.
Yeah. They a bit of an identity crisis here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, but it only gets worse.
God, mate.
1999. Risk came out. It's no exaggeration. This might be one of the worst albums I've ever heard in my life.
I know people slated this album, but I don't think I ever
I
listened
never
to it in
listened.
full. But
No, I didn't. I
I
didn't.
did listen to it once in full doing this, and honestly, I mean, I think I did the remastered one, so it was about an hour long, and it
Oh my
was, oh
god.
god, mate, it was torture.
Did you, Def? When it got to it, I almost just said to you, I'm not doing this podcast anymore. I almost thought this just ain't worth it. What are we doing to ourselves? Like
It's
I know, like Saint Anger is the album that gets bashed, right? Saint Anger is 10 times better than this
I
because it's fucking got some aggression and it's got some
I
balls
don't
and it's like,
I don't see the hate for I don't get the hate for Saint Anger, you
but at
know.
least they're trying something like different and it's aggressive and
Yeah,
it's angry
because
and it's
it was at the time they
yeah,
were angry, they were in a fucked up place, so
yeah.
that album is perfect. So if you think about, I don't know where the fuck they were on this.
What is
I mean,
this?
gee, oh god, mate, I struggled to pick out a riff. I didn't know what it was.
It's
It's
so
not metal,
bad,
it's
mate.
not metal, it's not
So what's like
rock.
bits of country in it and it's
Oh
so
god,
bad.
mate, it's fucking awful.
Let me blow your mind here, Death, right? How this was released in the same decade as Rust in Peace. How did they go from Rust in Peace to this in
I,
9 years?
I don't know what I don't know. I would love to have been in the studio with them finishing this track, listening to it through, and thinking, you know what? Yeah, this is great.
Christ almighty. I've gone with Crush 'Em just because it's the least shit one. But
It's
that's it.
still
That's all I've got
best.
for you, mate. It's still not good, but that's all
No,
I've got.
yeah. I mean, with a title like that, you expect it to be, oh, hang on a minute, but no, it's not. I went with Prince of Darkness.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
weirdest track. It does have some good moments in it. It's a fucking long track as well. That's all I had. I don't know what else I had. Wanderlust was fucking terrible. There was tracks Ecstasy and Seven. I don't even remember those tracks. I couldn't even tell you what they were like.
I don't think I
The
even made my.
Doctor is Calling is
Oh,
probably the
that is
worst track
terrible.
I've
It
ever heard in my
it's
life.
terrible, mate. It's awful.
It's an awful album, mate. And I don't
God
know why they
almighty.
had Enter the Arena, just a 43-second interlude track on the third track. I don't get it. If you have a
Okay.
track like leading into a track called Crush 'Em, fucking rip our heads off. It's the weird. I don't get it.
It's a,
On this,
yeah, it's a
it's
terrible
the
album.
worst. It's the worst album they done
I think
by
it's
far,
I think it's the worst album out of any of the big four.
easily. No one's done an album this bad.
No,
No
they haven't.
fucking way, mate.
No chance, mate. It can only get better than here. Then, 2001. This is we're entering a period there. Like Cryptic Writings, I knew. Risk of there's a few albums here now that I I hadn't checked out of Megadeth by this point, but they were doing nothing that I was like, yes, I need to hear that because
Yes.
I think by this point, right, Slipknot had come out, Killswitch Engage had dropped like
New
um
genres of metal, mate, innit?
it was there was some more exciting stuff out there than
Mm.
Megadeth. So The World Needs a Hero came out 2001. It's a step up from Risk, mate, that's for sure.
It is.
It's
It's
still not
still
great.
not great. No, it's still not great, but it
Would
is
you
a
put
step
it?
up.
Would you put it on par with Cryptic Writings, or it's
I
about
think
that? It's about that level, isn't it?
I would.
Or is it not as good as that?
I would. You know what? I don't fucking know. You confuse me now. I think it's sort of on par with that.
Yeah, that's
Risk is
what.
not even in the conversation.
No, I'd say this was.
There's moments on here, but it's not enough.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. There was a real standout on here for me, and that's Dread and the Fugitive Mind is the track I've gone with. It's kind of like a sister song to Sweating Bullets
Yes,
because it's
it's
got
got a
that
sip.
dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Dave starts talking. Help me, it's
That's
me.
it.
And Dave starts talking. This is a real bopper, this mate.
It is a good one. It's
Dude, dude.
yeah.
It. I think it wouldn't have sounded out of place on Countdown to Extinction.
It's very
Like,
countdown-esque, isn't it?
yeah. And that's why I think it like burst out to me. This one, I was like, yes, that is the track. It's a good song, this mate. Like
It is a very good song.
good song.
It was runner up in my pick.
Ooh,
My
okay.
pick was Recipe for Hate, Warhorse.
Oh, nice, mate.
I like sort of the first half of the track is very sort of all over the place,
Yeah.
sort of not getting to the place. But then after about sort of 2.5 minute mark, it kicks in. It's got that gallop. It's got some rhythm. It's got some pace to it. And it's like, oh, hang on a minute. This sounds really good. It's got a fucking good solo in it as well. And it was just, I just thought, yeah, probably that's probably the war horse section. You know what I mean? Getting ready for war.
Yes, of
It
course.
had that
Yeah.
fucking gallop to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dread and the Fugitive Mind was another one on there. Yeah, I mean, Moto Psycho was all right. It was, I don't know, the tone was a bit weird on that track.
Yeah.
Promises was okay. But yeah, again, little to pick with. Is that when was it the 9 minute closer? It's just a bit of,
Yeah. Like
it's an improvement on Risk. That's the main thing. But
absolutely. Yeah.
there's bits that are very good. But I think as a whole album, it's still a bit shaky.
Yeah. I mean, I'd pick off Dread and the Fugitive Mind as being if I was doing a Megadeth playlist, I'd have that in there.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
Yeah, I'm with you there, mate.
That's a good one. So what a funny time then for Megadeth, because Dave Mustaine announced he was disbanding the band, didn't he?
Yes.
In 2002 due to his wrist or arm problems, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
So I remember them. It was like, oh shit, Megadeth have finished. They split up. And then 2 years later,
classic.
2004. The system has failed. Just I don't really, like I said, mate. I kind of wasn't really paying much attention by this point, so I don't really know the backstory. But I know this was supposed to be a Dave Mustaine solo record, wasn't it?
Yes.
But there were some contractual wrangles with their label at the time, so they just rebranded it as a Megadeth record. The System Has Failed is pretty good, pretty good.
It's better. I think this is the better one from Cryptic Writings.
It's the best album since Euthanasia.
Yeah, I think Cryptic Writing Risk. Well, this is the better one. It had a bit more
oomph
in it at last.
Yeah, and it's got a bit think of I didn't really just realize this until now, Beth. There wasn't much Vic Rattlehead going on the album covers of these ones, was there?
No,
the album covers were dog shit, weren't they? Really, let's be honest. The World Needs a Hero had that Vic coming out of the guy's
this
stomach,
one is like back to,
this felt like a classic Megadeth
yes, and it's got some of those classic tones as well, which is
yes, it has.
I like this album.
I've gone with Die Dead Enough as my
tune.
pick. It was the lead single. It's a real catchy tune. It's like radio friendly Megadeth.
Yes, but I think this album was that in it. It was very.
You can hear it was maybe supposed to be a solo album, can't you?
Yes, yeah.
It's a really catchy tune. There's a few good tunes on here, man. This is I'll give it a. It's not. Is it an album I'll revisit? Maybe,
no,
probably not.
But there's better tracks.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this is an album. The first 7 tracks. I mean, not including the I Know Jack one. It's another fucking interlude for some reason. First 7 tracks on here is good. It's a good album. The second half of the album, it dips again into that World Needs a Hero sort of Cryptic Writings thing where you don't really know, nothing's really stood out. I went with Kick the Chair.
Oh,
which is fucking, it's got some oomph to it. It sounds like classic early 90s, mid 90s Megadeth.
Yeah,
and it's got more power, really catchy, and it's a great track because I thought the first 2 were really good. Black Metal Universe is a good opener as well. Tears in a Vial was good. I like that. Back in the day, it's got that little Peace Cells type intro in it, and you're like, oh yes, mate, they can fucking do it. But then it goes right. It just dips from there. But Kick the Chair sounds like classic Megadeth. You can tell it's probably the heavier track on the album. That's the one that sort of, for me, that stands out. And again, if I was doing a playlist and picking a track, that would be the one I'd go for, man, because it's just
Kick the Chair's mate.
Kick the Chair's a fucking tune, man.
Right, I'm gonna revisit that. I think I'm probably gonna go back to a couple of these more mid-period albums now.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Right. So 3 years later, then 2007, United Abominations. Now we're getting back to it, Def.
I
Now
like
we're getting
this
back to it.
album. Yes.
Me fucking
It's
too.
spread out. It's all good. It's spread out,
Yes.
not just songs and bits. It's
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah. It's a much more aggressive. It's got that classic technical aggressive Megadeth sound to it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah, yeah.
much more fucking like beefy, and obviously like I don't think we can do him a disservice because obviously Dave's injuries must have really fucked his playing. Do you know what I mean? So maybe that
Maybe
fed
that's
into the slowing down and the simpler,
possibly
but my pick on here, man, Sleepwalker,
opening
boots
track.
off. This
Same with me.
album,
Same with me, mate.
it
Sleepwalker all
is
day
a
long.
fucking ripper. The main riff could have been lifted from Rust in Peace, couldn't
Yes. Yeah.
it? It's got that real, like, we say the word angular, but that's what Megadeth had, that like
Yes.
angular attack. It's a chock full of widdly leads, classic Megadeth whittles. It's got all this, and then the solo section. We say it, the song's going somewhere, and you think, and then it stops, and then it goes into something completely different.
Only
It shifts
Megadeth
into a
can do.
different
Only
tempo.
Megadeth can do that.
Only
mate.
Megadeth do it like that, mate. Sleepwalker is fucking brilliant.
And to kick off the album as well, it gives you that confidence that
yeah,
fuck Megadeth
we're
are
back,
back, mate.
baby.
They're back, mate.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fucking great track. It's a good album. It's a solid album.
It's a good album, man.
Years of War was a good track.
Washington
I didn't mind.
Next is good.
Yeah. You're Dead was a decent track. It's a decent album. It is a decent album. Every track is actually, it's more like it.
Yeah, this is one I could happily bang on and listen to it without skipping anything. Do you know what I mean? So
100%, mate.
Yeah. And from getting back into it, so now we are fucking back into it.
This is,
oh my god, Def.
This is the one, mate. Out of this new sort of second sort of section, Endgame is a fucking worldie, mate. It's not. It's a fucking worldie.
It is, mate. 2009, this dropped. Easily the best Megadeth record since Euthanasia.
Yeah,
no
100%, 100%, mate.
And a real latter day like thrash high point.
Yes,
for the genre in full. This is a fucking real stand. And if you were doing a discography ranking, Def, would Endgame be up in the like Champions League business end spots? It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
The fire was truly back with Megadeth at this point.
It's so good to hear. I knew it was a good album, but when you listen to it again, it's like fucking hell, man.
It's better. It kind of gets better.
It does, yeah.
And again, I've gone with an opener, mate. I've gone with This Day We Fight.
This Day We Fight's a fucking tune, man.
That is a fucking blisterer, man. It's like tons of wicked riffs. Say it. Megadeth tempo changes, scorching solos. Dave's got that like bite and snarl back to his voice in full effect on here. This Day We Fight is, oh my god, what a track, man.
Yeah, that was up there. My track,
Megadeth.
My track is Head Crusher. Head Crusher's a tune, man.
It's a brilliant tune, mate.
The way he sounds on it, the chorus, the fucking riff structures, mate, on this. Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
It's like he was showing off, wasn't it? He was like, oh, you think I've gone away and like, oh, I can't do it anymore. Just have this album.
Yeah, it's great when bands do this, when they have had some shit and then they come back with riffs and, a style that we're used to, what we associate with the band.
But bringing it into the modern era.
It's so refreshing, mate. And this is what this album does, mate. It's so fucking good, man.
A lot of the old school thrash bands were releasing wicked albums at this point because Testament came back around about that same period before Nation of Damnation. That was
which is a fucking worldie, mate. That is.
And I really like the reunion Belladonna albums from Anthrax.
Yeah,
I really like them, mate. So yeah, this was a fucking good period. But yeah, Endgame is the peak.
Endgame is
it's the best one.
100%.
It's a brilliant record. So 2011 and 13. So this is kind of a weird one. It's because it's a mix of several new tunes and sort of reworkings of older demos, and so it kind of always felt a bit bitty to me, this record, if you know what I mean, because it wasn't all new music. And when you read like it was some of its re-recorded demos and older tracks, it kind of took the
Yeah.
excitement a little bit out of this.
Yeah.
But I think it's not as good as Endgame, but I still think it's a pretty
I thought it was
good album,
decent.
this,
I
man. Yeah,
thought it
yeah.
was a decent album. It's
I do.
again, I think it's better than United, System Has Failed, World. I think it's still better on that. It's got that. It's a more like sort of melodic sounding.
Yeah, I think
album. This one,
I think, mate, after Endgame, they were probably thinking, well, we can't top that in terms of aggression and like ferocity and pace. So you go down the slightly different. And Dave never makes the same album fucking twice, does he? Like, do you know
exactly,
what I mean?
mate.
Like,
Exactly.
So my pick on here, mate, I'm going with Public Enemy #1.
I knew that would be your pick. Yeah, it's a
I
tune.
really love this song, man. This would be a live staple for me. It's just a really great, memorable, well-written song. Public Enemy #1, dude.
Yeah,
dude. It's really, really good latter day Megadeth song, mate. It's I like a nice radio friendly kind of sound, but
and this album is that, isn't it? Very radio friendly, very stadium anthemic.
Yes, arena level
rock in it. It's arena rock sort of type.
Yeah, mate.
I've gone left field on this one, mate.
Ooh.
I've gone with Black Swan.
Holy shit.
Black Swan is a proper rock track.
Yes, it is.
It's a proper rock bopper, mate. And it's yeah, I don't know what it is. It was listening to it. You know, when a track gets you and you can't do anything about it, it sticks in your head. And when you listen again, you're like, well, I'm humming this track. Where's it from? And then you play it and you think, oh shit, it's that track. I've never heard it before. Why is it sticking out? I've never heard. I probably listened to the album when it came out.
Yeah, same.
That would have been the last time I would have listened to this album. And it was like, why do I like this track? Why is it sticking out? It's a simple, what you would imagine hearing on Radio 1. It's that type of track. But for me, it just flows really good. Public Enemy #1 was a great track. Guns, Drugs and Money was another good one. But yeah, Black Swan for me, man, it grabbed me. It just grabbed me, mate. Yeah.
When he writes a good arena rock song, he writes a fucking good one, doesn't he?
He writes a good one, mate. Yeah.
I mean, he's not always not always on the money.
No. That one I think he was. It's a decent bloody track, man.
Yeah. And I can tell you why he's not always on the money, Def, because 2 years later.
Oh God, mate.
Super Collider. What's he fucking doing again after being on such a good run?
This is terrible. This is a terrible album. Absolute terrible album. My pick was easy on this.
Poo bum plot, mate.
My pick was easy on this.
Yeah, same. For me, I've gone with Kingmaker, the opening track.
That's it. That's the only track. That's the only decent track.
It's the only track with some bite and some grit. Like the riff is like a sped up Children of the Grave.
Yeah. It's a good track. And then you think, how are you? I don't know.
He chucked us a right old red herring, didn't he? By putting this as track 1.
You're
thinking, oh, okay, here we go again.
It just doesn't get going. It just nothing happens.
Oh, it's just so ploddy, isn't it?
It's really ploddy, mate.
And that title track is the most plodderson now fucking. It's just like, so boring.
It's a boring album. It is, mate. There's nothing to it, mate. From such a great opener. I mean, the only other great thing on this is the Cold Sweat cover.
Def, I almost.
Come on.
You know, in the group chat, I said, I think I've got a loophole for Super Collider. I was going to pick Cold Sweat.
I fucking knew. Yeah, it's that's that. They done it justice on that. Yeah. But that is it. So the beginning and the end. Yeah, everything else. Cover. Make up your fucking mind, man. But the guy's god awful.
Def, should I tell you what? The conspiracy theory I've just noticed here, that hasn't got Vic Rattlehead on the cover either.
No.
Every time they ditch Vic,
it's shit.
They drop a stinker, don't they?
Yeah. Well,
just yeah.
Wow.
Wow. So 3 years later, then Dystopia. So this is a funny one because we were chatting. This is an album I really dig, and this is one you cannot get into at all.
I cannot get into it, mate. I don't know why.
it's so funny, man, isn't it? Because I really dig this album. Much very noticeable, obviously, for having Chris Adler behind the
Yeah,
kit from Lamb of
yeah,
God or
yeah,
ex Lamb of God. I almost went with the title track on this one because I really like the
yeah,
dystopia.
yeah, yeah.
But I've gone with Death from Within as the
Tune.
track. I really like the galloping riff in this track. The chorus it's got a mid pace gallop to it, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Chorus is superb again, and again another track that I'd really like to hear live. I think this would sound great live, Death from Within. It's just got that. It feels like it's built to be played live because it's got that pace to it
yes.
where you can just bob your head like Dre. But yeah, Death from Within is the pick for me on this
Is
one.
it tune? I like the first 4 tracks on this album, and then I don't know, it doesn't stick.
Okay.
It doesn't stick. But I've gone with The Threat Is Real, the opening track.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, that's a
like
good
that.
tune. That.
It's a solid track. It's
Yeah.
catchy. It's got everything you want in sort of this new wave Megadeth sound. Um, but yeah, I don't know what it is, Jim. I just I can't get my head around it. I listen to it, listen to it, listen to it. I'll go back to it, and it's like I haven't heard the album before.
Sometimes albums are like that, mate, aren't they?
Yeah, it just can't get in. It's going in one ear, it's staying, and it's coming back out. Because
There's loads of albums like that, but like Code Orange Forever was like that for me. For the longest
yeah,
time, I
yeah,
could
yeah,
not fucking get into it. There's loads of albums like that, isn't there, down the
yeah.
years that you'll listen to them and you think, okay, it's a good album, but it's just something in your brain is off, isn't it? And it just can't
That's it. It just
compute
can't.
with it.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I have. It's not a bad album. It's one of the better ones. You know what I mean? They're on the sort of the right path. You
Yeah,
know, I
it's
mean,
much better than what.
they're getting older. Yeah, it's a decent album, but
Yeah.
yeah, but the first 4 tracks show that yeah they can still do it, mate. And this fucking smashes Super Collider to the
Oh
ground.
yeah, 100%.
There's no it's you know so yeah don't worry.
Yeah, a bit of fire in the belly back on
It's
this
got
one again,
this
wasn't it?
yes yeah.
So that takes us then. Well, I thought we were going to be chatting about Megadeth for hours, mate. We blasted through this, but I was thinking, oh god, we were in for a 2 hour one here. But so 2022, then a 6 year gap, mate, between Dystopia and this album. Obviously, Dave was going through some pretty horrendous health
Yes.
issues in between them. Do you think this might be? Do you think there'll be another studio album?
I think so. I think there'll be one more.
Yeah, I just don't,
But
mate.
I don't know what Megadeth we're gonna get. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
I just don't want to see Dave getting fucking wheeled out like Captain Tom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking round the stage.
Well,
So,
I'll walk around the garden for him, mate.
yeah,
So you ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, I think
yeah.
if there is one more album left for them,
It
I
would have to
don't
be
know.
next year, wouldn't it? Because that'd be
Yeah.
3 years by then.
I mean,
And
they're touring. They're touring. So you'd
kind of
think,
long, mate.
why wouldn't they do another studio out?
Yeah,
But
that's it. You just hope it's not another Radio Rock Blood.
risk,
Yeah,
a
or
risk type
Super
hit,
Blood.
you know.
Yeah,
So yeah. But then yeah,
but
we'll
yeah,
go.
The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead came out. A good album, not as good as I'd hoped for, mate. I'll be honest with you. I think this was a bit of a not a disappointment, but it didn't come anywhere near getting in my top 40
No,
with you.
no, same.
And you were the same, wasn't it?
I was the same.
Which
But one thing when it first got announced was, you know, like those early albums, Killing Is My Business, dot, 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 and
yes,
this is good.
so
Peace
far so
Sells, dot,
good.
dot, dot. This had the same. And I was like, oh my God, they've gone back in time. And I
Got
think
the
I said
dots.
it in my notes, but it's nothing to do with it. It's just, I think because it's been, you know, such a long time since that, you know, they come back from Dystopia. Maybe they thought, yeah, you know, we're back, fixed back on the cover, blah, blah, blah. But it's not a sort of a thrash album like those early ones.
It's good, isn't it? But it's
The
no,
first three tracks are really good.
yeah.
It kicks off really good. Life Now, Night Stalkers. From tracks 4 to 8, I don't know what the fuck
There's
happens.
some duds on here, mate. Like Mission to
Doctor,
Mars is dreadful.
It's that like Junkie has got to be
Junkie's
one of the worst tracks I've
It's
ever heard in my
so
life.
bad, mate. The lyrics to that are absolute cringe,
It's
aren't they?
it's just the sound of it, and you're just like, fucking hell, it's all awful. But yeah, Dogs of Chernobyl, Sacrifice, Psychopath. It's just like, what is going on?
I know that's what I mean. It's a very like hit and miss album, but
Very hit and miss.
I've gone with "We'll Be Back," mate, as the
Same.
yeah.
That's
There
the
you go.
tune. It's a
the
tune.
Rager. It's a Rager.
It's a fucking Rager. We'll be back.
It's got that
Hopefully they stick
Megadeth
to
feel
that.
to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, mate. Yeah, it's very catchy.
It's kind of got like Peace Cells era vibes to it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely. I think it's one of the best tracks of their latter career.
Yeah, I agree.
And that riff that kicks in around 2 minutes 50. Ooh, that's the stuff, mate.
Yeah.
Like, it's got that proper fucking Megadeth gallop to it. But yeah, it's very like this latter day period. It's very up and down, isn't it? There's some
they can't seem to sustain all these good tracks. Dave Sustain for like a full album, innit? It's like bits and pieces, and
yeah.
I'd rather if they did an album, every track be a banger. Just do it.
There hasn't been a full banger album since Endgame in 2009.
If they can do another Endgame, then great. But it's like Metallica, innit? They do these albums like over an hour long. You don't have to do an album an hour long. You don't have to do an 8-minute track.
Def, do you know what I think Megadeth need to do? They need to get in the fucking studio with Andy Sneap, like Judas Priest have done. I just want to hear a Megadeth 40-minute album. 8 tracks. 8 Ragers that all will be back. No,
it's gotta be. That's it. No filler. No fit. Just fucking hit it and end with that.
8 tunes, 40 minutes. Bosh. There you go.
Yeah, because that Judas Priest out is fucking incredible, man.
Yeah,
they can do it. They can fucking do it.
Yeah, and Dave can do it.
Dave can do it, mate.
He knows he can as well.
Yes.
But that's what I'm hoping for, man. So yeah, like that was yes, there's some up and downs, mate, but I think it's way more fun doing when you're visiting discographies that aren't all brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Like it's too easy to do. It was the next one we're going to do is probably going to be the Black Dahlia murder, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that doesn't take any dips.
No.
But this one was real fucking super interesting.
We knew after Euthanasia it was going to be it was tough from Euthanasia from Cryptic Writing, onwards. It was, and that's more than half the discography. And it was like
that was a struggle. Yeah. Just be like how much we love doing this podcast that we've put ourselves through listening to.
I had to listen to Risk, and that honestly,
at Super Collider. Like,
you'd rather go to fucking prison, man, listening to them two. Honestly,
the things we do for heavy metal, definitely.
That's it, mate. Well, yeah, exactly, mate. We do it, so no one else has to.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, let us know your picks. If you know,
brave enough,
you're fucking you got nothing else to do, and you want to listen to them albums, then let us know. Twitter at Bangers P, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Bangers Mosh Podcast. Search us up. You'll find us there. Daz will be back with us next time. He's off.
He'll be back.
Yep.
He'll be back.
But yeah, until next time, take no prisoners.
Take no shit.